First Alert meteorologist Emily Merz joins us once again. And Emily, I'm going to ask you a question that I feel like a lot of us are thinking, and that's, when is the rain supposed to get here?
Yeah, that really is the big question we're looking at later on this afternoon. It's going to kind of work its way in, kind of easy at first, and then overnight's really when we're going to see the majority of the rain, and then into tomorrow. So definitely not a good weekend for outdoor plans. If you have those outdoor plans, start thinking of a backup. If it plays out the way we're looking at it right now, it's going to be a pretty wet weekend, but much needed rain for a lot of us with the drought conditions continuously expanding. I'm very happy to finally be seeing some actual measurable rain this weekend. Here's that radar right now. A couple of showers out towards our west, same thing over out towards our east. We're going to be seeing this kind of just slowly make its way into our region as we go over the next several hours. Later in to around lunchtime this afternoon is when we're going to really start to see those showers pop up in southern Minnesota. For now, though, pretty clear and calm conditions, although we are seeing some dense cloud coverage begin to make its way in closer to where that system is going to follow quick behind it. Lots of clouds out there in Mankato right now. Temperature is 62 degrees. We're seeing dew points in the upper 50s. It's going to be a little more humid today to start off the day, but once those rain showers start, it's going to kind of affect that. But not a good day to have your windows open anyway, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, how humid it's going to be. Temperatures sitting in the 60s and 50s, 57 degrees in Waseca, same thing in Jackson, 55 in Worthington, and a little bit cooler out in Marshall and Slayton, sitting at 52 degrees. And here's a look at the potential rainfall totals for this upcoming weekend. Keep in mind this does tend to overestimate a little bit. Over here where it's showing around 3 inches, I'm a little bit less confident that we're going to see that much. My biggest guess would be around 1/2 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch on average for the majority of us. Now it's going to be possible for a lot of us to see over an inch, and even a couple of reports of over 2 inches wouldn't surprise me. But again, on average, we're probably looking at about 1/2 an inch to 3/4 over the whole weekend. So definitely going to be helpful towards those drought conditions, but unfortunately with how dry we are, we're a little bit too late to reverse the drought conditions. Here's a look at the futurecast starting later on in this morning. We're going to see those scattered showers begin to pop up around lunchtime all across our area, and it is hard to really pinpoint exactly where these showers are going to pop up, but that's about the timing that we're expecting. Later on this afternoon, a little bit more widespread moving in. This is also when we could start seeing a few thunderstorms here and there, although again, we're not really watching a severe threat quite yet. That's going to come in around tomorrow morning. There's where we're going to start to see more thunderstorms, and then here's that main line of storms that's going to begin to make its way in around the earlier day, but it's going to make its way into the more southern Minnesota as we get after lunch, closer to dinner time. Around 4 o'clock, that's when we can see some of those thunderstorms making their way closer to the Mankato area. This is also when we could see the potential for some severe weather. So definitely important to be remaining weather aware as we go into the weekend, especially if you are going to be outside for a lot of this. We're going to see showers and thunderstorms maintain themselves throughout dinner time into the late evening, and then even overnight continuing into Sunday. Here's a look at the severe thunderstorm outlook for tomorrow. We can see our whole area in at least that marginal or 1 out of 5 risk of seeing severe weather. It goes up a little bit for those of us sitting in that yellow area. That's going to be that 2 out of 5 or slight risk of seeing that severe weather. Now with that, we're looking at the potential for large hail and strong damaging wind gusts. We also can't rule out a tornado threat at this point, but we're not expecting that to be the most likely or the most widespread threat. Out of the rest of it, we're looking potentially mostly at the hail and the wind as those main threats. 75 degrees for the high today, a lot cooler than what we saw yesterday. We're going to continue that cooling trend into the rest of this week. 63 for the low this evening, those showers turning into thunderstorms late tonight, continuing on into the rest of our Saturday. Here's an extended forecast. Rain and thunderstorms continue into even Monday and Tuesday. After that, though, much drier conditions to look forward to towards the end of the week. Cooler temperatures as well. It's going to be a lot more fall feeling with even some sunshine out there as we get towards the end of the week. Nick, Kelsey.